If you're like me, where the only free time you have to play video games is late at night due to work or family or other responsibilities as an adult, then you probably have run into the same problems that I have, which is waking up late for work the next day. Or maybe sometimes sleeping through the alarm and not waking up at all. In today's video, I will share with you a few tips that helps me wake up on time for work the next day, even though I've been gaming late into the night. We all have that game or hobby that once we start doing, we get so immersed in it, we lose track of time, we forget that we're hungry, we forget that we need to go to the toilet, or we even forget to go to sleep. This was the way I was back in 2005 when I was hooked onto World of Warcraft. But back then, I was in university, so waking up early wasn't such a big deal because I could choose classes that were in the afternoon sessions. But when my brother introduced me to Blade & Soul in 2012, I had an 8 to 5 full-time job, and 2, I had a newborn baby. So the only available time left that I had was late in the night after I had finished all my daily responsibilities, and that resulted in me in sometimes playing so late into the night that I couldn't wake up on time for work the next day. This went on for over a year, and I was getting huge deductions to my pay due to my company's policy for arriving late to work. Even on the days that I do wake up on time for work, I would make a lot of mistakes at work because I would keep missing on the details due to lack of sleep. In other words, I was like a zombie in the office. Stuff said to me came in one ear, went out the other. So this was a sign that things had to change. So about a year later of trial and error on trying to figure out how to be able to still play games and also not affect my work, I managed to find a few things that work for me, which I'm going to share with you now. So the first thing to do is to get yourself a clock. I mean, not the type of clock on top of your desktop or the clock on your mobile phone screen, but I mean a physical clock like this that you can put on your desk so you can tell the time with a glance in the middle of gaming. The clock is here for 2 reasons. You see, the first key to being able to wake up early is to get enough of quality sleep hours. On average, it is recommended a person gets around 8 hours of sleep per day, but this figure varies for everyone. As you can see, for me, on average, I need around 6.5 hours to 7 hours of sleep per day, but my wife, she needs 8 to 9 hours. So this figure might vary for you. And based on your needs, you can calculate the time that you need to go to sleep. So in my case, if I need to wake up at 8 a.m. every day, that means I would have to get to sleep latest 1 a.m. every day. So it takes a little trial and error here and there, but you can start with 7.5 hours and go from there. You'll know that you have enough sleep when you wake up feeling energized. The second reason for having the clock here is so that you can tell how much time is left before your scheduled bedtime. This is so that you can plan your in-game activities accordingly. Don't join a raid or do something where you cannot quit halfway when the time you have left is very little. This is because in order to wake up and feel energized, our body needs us to go to sleep at the same time every day. And that's including weekends as well. By going to sleep at the same time every day, our body's circadian rhythm, or in other words, body clock, will be adjusted to our lifestyle. And having this rhythm in sync, and instead of having a chaotic sleeping pattern, it will be so much easier to wake up the next day and not end up being a zombie. So try to get to bed no later than 15 minutes past your scheduled bedtime. Next tip is set only one alarm. Do not set multiple alarms, which I'm guilty of, because as doing so, you're conditioning yourself to sleep past alarms. Like by pressing that snooze button, you're basically telling your brain, telling yourself that, oh, okay, you can wait for the next alarm, and eventually you'll run out of alarms and you'll end up waking late or not waking up at all. This takes a few days of training, but when done with the next tip of setting a wake-up routine, it becomes a lot easier and a lot faster for you to wake up. So by having a wake-up routine that you stick to when you wake up, can be as simple as getting out of bed, then walking to your coffee machine, or washing your face, jumping into the shower, so you will not give yourself the excuse to get back into bed. What I do is, when I get out of bed, the first thing I do is I open the curtains so that the sunlight will come into the room and make it so bright so it's not easier to get back to sleep. In general, it takes about 1 week for our body to get used to new waking up and sleeping patterns. So it'll be difficult at first, but eventually it will get easier and easier after the 1 week period. So give it a shot, don't give up too soon, and good luck on establishing your new wake-up routine. Also, let me know in the comments down below If you have any other tips that helps you wake up on time every day, if you're like me, a person who games late into the night. Thank you for watching today's video. Thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe and hit the bell if you loved it, and see you again next week.